I don't know who needs to hear this, but like your divine counterpart is not your ex. Like they're not somebody who is like super confusing to you. If it's a true divine counterpart, it's something to where like by definition there is something spiritual in nature about the connection. Um and like even atheists have like a spiritual side, otherwise you guys wouldn't be animated or whatever. It's sort of giving like, you know, something that is passion based, something that is like your muse or whatever. So like again, I guess I don't know. If you are atheistic, it could be like, you know, you and your divine counterpart, like, I don't know, like there's something that meshes up. Like you create something together that is like channeled and like, you know, it's whatever, like you enter into a flow state like with each other. So that could be um like meditating together, praying together, and also make sure that they're not doing it in a performative way. Like you can tell you like feel something when you do something, when you're like in alignment with your divine counterpart and you do something together that is like connecting you to the higher realms, okay? Because like you have to enter union in like a higher sense or whatever. It's really hard to explain, but like you feel it, like it triggers a kundalini awakening that could, and that feels like and this is not for kids. I'll give you a second. Okay, so kids are gone, but like yeah, so it feels like orgasmic or whatever, like it feels like that, okay, but without even like touching or even seeing the other person, like when you do this thing. So like, and it feels like you don't feel that way with other people. Like you have, it can't be something that you feel with all of your exes, and then none of them. It has to feel different. And again, they're not manipulating you. It's not like some years long drawn out like confusion back and forth. It's not a situationship. It's not somebody who you're waiting to step up. It's like, if it's a divine counterpart, you guys are like, and they are accepting of the mission. Sorry, low battery, but like if they like accept and step up to the mission that you guys have together, then they like are actually doing the work to heal, you know. Again, it goes back to that sound that's like I don't know, like you wait so long for somebody to do something for you, and then like your new person did it in like 1 week or whatever. But that's really what it feels like. Your divine person is literally like the yin to your yang energy in regards to like your light and your shadow. But it's not a mirror in regards to like you guys playing games with each other, but it's like it's not a mirror in regards to like, okay, so a karmic or something like that, it's like the opposite. So the mirror would be sort of like, I don't know, hold on. So if it is a karmic, okay, then it would be like, oh, as you open up more to them emotionally, then they run. And then as you like ignore them, then they would like come back. And then that cycle is just like ongoing, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And maybe you like reflect each other's like shadows, but there's not enough reflection of each other's like positive light and like purity. Okay? Divine counterparts reflect and mirror the pure aspect of one another. It's like as the divine masculine embodies his like feminine energy more, because that's usually what it looks like. It would be like a masculine who maybe was more emotionally closed off, but then he encounters a feminine who like he chooses to like, that it's, you know, that he wants to put in the effort to actually do the work to like heal, to open up. And that kind of looks like him mirroring her like energy, her like feminine energy, as a way to like nurture. But it's like, you know what I mean? And if you're somebody who like gets the ick from a man expressing things in a cutesy way, then I don't know if you're like healed enough exactly for a divine counterpart, because that sort of thing shouldn't even be like crossing your mind. But like obviously it's gonna look different because nobody's the same. So I'm sorry if that like triggered you or something, because I guess that like the whole point is that the reason why each of us only have one divine counterpart, like the one, like the actual one, that it's not a myth, you know. And I don't know if everybody not everybody aligns with their divine counterpart, okay, in this lifetime or whatever. And like, you know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, you guys aren't like ready for the mission spiritually. You know, I think the idea is that you keep like running into each other every lifetime to try again, but it's something like, it's not, I don't know, hold on. It's not something where you are left hanging for, I would say that like, I don't know, hold on. I guess like because every other qualifier, I think, like for a divine counterpart could be, I think it can be faked by people who are aware, you know. um and I also think that not every divine counterpart pair is meant to end up together in the end necessarily, right? I don't know. I do think also that high level soulmates can be like elevated to a direct counterpart or something like that. But, you know, obviously I'm still in a human vessel, so like I don't know everything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, but I'm just like trying to share wisdom as I gather it, you know, as we're all supposed to help each other. And I've fallen into a trap in the past of like continuously like mistaking people for that person, but I think it's to the point where like if a soulmate, because a soulmate doesn't have to be divine to be a good, viable soulmate, right? A divine counterpart is a bit different because it implies that there's like a really big purpose for that pair coming together. Like it's bigger than you. It's almost like you guys don't have it feels like you guys don't have a choice, and it's mutual. That's kind of the difference, is that both sides, like even the person who's typically a runner, okay, if it's a karmic, they can run. They just be like, oh, that person isn't good enough for me, or I can do better, or I'm not ready for this, or this isn't comfortable for me, or whatever, and they can just like run and dip, okay? If it's a divine counterpart, you guys are like, it's like mutually obsessed with each other and you don't have a choice. And it's almost like you try to pull away, not as like a rejection of the other or because it's too much, but because you're like, I don't know if I'm going crazy. I don't know if this is real, okay? And you like pull away, but it's like a magnet like snaps you guys back together, like both people. You know what I mean? So it's never just, and I'm only saying this because this is how the most common dynamic that I see in like clients and stuff, but like usually it's like the feminine that's like always waiting for the masculine to come back, or always waiting for him to step up, or always waiting him to leave his his karmic, which, you know, that may be his person, you know, to come back and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot, like, you have to be careful, because sometimes like you can be the karmic too, or like you have to be careful about like projecting terms and stuff like that. But I'm just saying that like somebody could be perceiving you as a karmic, and so you have to be careful, because if you're getting a reading from a reader who like is of the energy, like just because somebody is a psychic doesn't mean that they're like for you, you know. Like somebody can be a psychic and be like reading for you, but they are more similar to like people that don't like you, you know what I mean, than they are to you. So like they're reading from the perspective of like people who are technically your ops, and then you're like, you know what I mean, so the energy can always be like effed up. But anyway, if it's a divine counterpart, you guys like don't really have a choice. Like it's sort of like, again, it's divinely orchestrated. The thing, it's like, it's one of those things that you like aren't given a choice to avoid by the divine, by some, again, extraterrestrial source or force, or extra, you know what I mean? It's something beyond both of you, to where you guys definitely feel like, yes, there are obstacles in the physical that are like distractions or whatever, but at the end of the day, if it's your divine counterpart, for both parties, it feels like you guys do not have a choice but to end up with one another, and you cannot stay away from each other. Like even if you try, it's like you both literally feel like you feel empty and hollow, and it feels horrible. Like it feels physically terrible for both people, emotionally terrible, to the point where like you basically have to be together, otherwise you feel like sick.